Hello, I'm delighted to be able to share with you details of the amazing Season 5 of Folk on Foot. As you might imagine, thanks to COVID-19, some things are still rather uncertain, but we do know that we have some brilliant new episodes to delight you. 3 of them were recorded before the lockdown and remind us of happier days when we could roam freely around the countryside together. There's the singer, songwriter and bird spotter Kitty Macfarlane taking me for a walk on the Somerset Levels on a bright, sunny January day. And there's a little bit of frost underfoot here, actually, in the shade where the sun hasn't quite caught it, so you can see that it's a cold but bright day.
Load of lapwing going over at the moment.
Oh yes.
They've got such distinctive flappy wings. I always think they look quite funny in the sky.
There's a lot of them, aren't there?
Loads of starlings coming in as well. You can see them in small little gatherings, but they're all going to make their way over to Hamwall and Chapwick, where they're going to roost overnight.
And is that where you see the murmurations of starlings?
That's it, that's the murmuration site, and they do it on either side of the road, Chapwick or Hamwall, but you can ring the starling hotline to find out where they roosted the night before, which is great.
And what's it like to see them all take off into that murmuration?
One of the most amazing things, I think it's, you start seeing flocks kind of coming over the water or above your head, just small kind of gatherings, and you think that's it, and it's kind of amazing, but then all the flocks eventually join together into this incredible swirling mass that is like it's like one creature moving as one rather than hundreds of thousands. And sometimes if there's a predator, if there's a marsh harrier or a peregrine or kestrel or something, then they'll swirl and take up and twist into these strange formations that you might have seen.
And it happens at sunset, doesn't it?
It happens at sunset. Just if you get the half an hour before dusk, that's the best time to see it. And especially when the light's kind of good and you can see them against the sky, it's incredible. But the noise of them moving as well is just unbelievable. And when it comes over your head, this massive cloud, it's sort of a whooshing flutter of wings, and it's a roar as well. It's amazing.
You wrote a song about it, I think.
I did.
Would you sing it for us?
Yeah, absolutely. We stop and let the sky take hold of our breath as the last of the evening light flees to the west. Stars, they soon will start to pace overhead like the rush in a seashell, or a hum in the maze, or the mutter of pages turned in haze. The banks of the river brew lie folded in pleats, like the lines that the morning left pressed into your cheek. And the sun, a fading creature, shivers with your heartbeat. They fly over the stories held in the peat, telling their own in a million wing beats, like the rush in a seashell, or a hum in the maze, or the mutter of pages turned in haze.
Kitty Macfarlane on the Somerset Levels. Then we head off to Faversham in Kent, where the songwriter, guitarist and singer Chris Wood has lived for decades. On a walk to the local marshes with his dog Dancer, Chris tells me that staying in one place doesn't mean you're cut off from the rich variety of life.
We'll let you go on a bit, all right? Oh yeah, Dancer's loving this.
He'd love someone to play with.
I think it's if you keep moving around, how much can you trust your judgment? Do you know what I mean? How much do you ever really know if you keep moving? If you stop where you are, I mean, it's a cliche, isn't it? But, the world sort of eventually does come to you. I mean, that little park opposite where we used to live, I've seen it all. I've found a hanged man, I've found shagging couples, guys been murdered, everything.
All human
It
existence.
all kind of comes to the park, do you know what I mean? I've seen proud dads and proud mums and tearful dads, and, you know, I mean, I don't know. If you just stand still and watch, it's all there. You know, the real stuff's there. The sirens sang on Sunday. They came to rest at your front door. They'll call up my house one day, so that we can all be sure. All the boys in the park had a kickabout, and as they took the funfair down, ambulance drove slowly out of town. Now all the old folk are tearing up the tennis courts. The kids can't get a game. Round the barber's chair, it's all grey hair, and the tea room's packed again. But by the bowling green, they stand and dream as the old flag flutters on the pole. They dream of the day that they take back control.
Chris Wood in reflective mood in Faversham. Well, we're hoping that during July we'll be able to record 3 new episodes, observing all the government's latest guidelines, of course, but managing to go walking with O'Hooley and Tito in the Colne Valley in Yorkshire, with Johnny Flynn on the Hackney Marshes, and with The Breath, featuring the wonderful Irish singer Raina Connolly and Stuart McCallum in Manchester. So those episodes will come later in the season, we hope. But we do know that we'll start the whole season on Friday the 10th of July with Frank Turner. He's a bit different from our usual guests. For a start, he went to Eton College at the same time as Prince William. He's sold out arenas on both sides of the Atlantic, and he's passionate about the Holloway Road in North London. He takes me for a walk along this busy thoroughfare, stopping off at a venue called Nambucca, where his conversion from thrashing punk to reflective singer-songwriter happened.
At the time, the upstairs rooms at Nambucca were sort of only an inch or two above a squat. And the downstairs, it's a nice big pub, it's a classic North London boozer, but it was dead all the time. And the owner was kind of struggling and wondering what to do. And these 2 mad kids from Essex came in and said, we'll set up a scene. And the thing about Dave and Jay is that they're the 2 most sociable people in the whole world, and they know everybody, and they set up these clubs. And within a couple of months, this place was booming. And they started putting on gigs here. And indeed, Dave formed a band called the Holloways, and it was quite indie rock for a time. So we would run a club called Frog on Saturday nights, Club Enemy on Friday nights, and quite often it was a very chemically assisted scene, shall we say. So we'd get to a Sunday of any given weekend and everybody was exhausted and hadn't really slept and was really in a strange place emotionally. And Jay had the idea to put on folk nights on Sunday afternoons called well, no drums. Right. We were all over all banging beats or whatever. We've been through all of that. So Jay decided to put on a folk night called Sensible Sundays. And it was sort of a cross between an open mic and then a few booked acts at the top. But it was very punk in the sense of like anyone could play. So I started going to that, and Jay was playing under the name Beans on Toast. He definitely predates me as an artist. He had a little guitar, he knew 3 chords, and he sang the truth. And he sang the truth about us. And there was one Sensible Sunday where he wrote a song about the weekend we'd had the previous week and the mad stuff we got up to. And he sung it on stage, and I was just staggered by the immediacy of that. And that, which I think is a very folk thing. It was like, we did this. A week later, there's a song about it, The Ballad of Steve and the Chinese Army. And it just blew my mind. And it was almost like scales fell from my eyes. Because at the time, Million Dead were an obscurantist left field punk band trying to be weird. in our music, and it was like, oh no, you can just play G, C and D and sing a cool story about a thing that happened.
So the simplicity of it.
Yeah, and the directness and the immediacy, it was so much more engaging to me than trying to write obscurantish songs in 7/8 about Polish communism, which is what I was doing at the time. And it really sort of captured me. So I started just hanging out here, and eventually staying here all the time, upstairs. And Nambucca,
Living here?
yeah, I mean, I didn't have a room at any point, but nor did quite a lot of people.
You just sort of sofa surfed?
Yeah, sofa surfed, went to sleep on the rare occasions when I did on the sofa. but it was great, and there was a lot of people who were here at Sensible Sundays. I think I was probably the one who took to the building and the scene here the most, but I remember endlessly seeing Marcus Mumford play. Laura Marling, when she was 16, was here, which was always a bit touch and go with the authorities. Jamie T played here all the time. You know, it was a busy old time for that kind of music.
Well, shall we go inside?
If we can, that
go
would be
inside.
fantastic.
Yeah,
it has been quite a while since I was inside.
Okay, and I think it's changed a bit because there was a fire here, wasn't there?
There was, yeah, which we'll get into, but let's get out of the cold.
Okay.
Everybody's got themselves a plan, and everybody thinks they'll be the man, including the girls, the musicians who lack the friends to form a band, the singers, songwriters, the rest of us are DJs or official club photographers. Tonight I'm playing another Nambucca show, so I'm going through my phone book and texting everyone that I know, quite a few I don't whose numbers found their way into my phone. They might come along anyway, you never really know. None of this is going anywhere.
Frank Turner on the Holloway Road is episode 1 of season 5 of Folk on Foot. It'll be out on Friday, July the 10th, so don't miss it.